didn't deliver rising take-home pay, which of course he did. You've got to pretend that Donald Trump didn't deliver lower inflation, which of course he did. And then you simultaneously got to defend Kamala Harris's atrocious economic record, which has made gas, groceries, and housing unaffordable for American citizens.
And Freedom Fridays, where we explore the godly way to vote with faith and integrity. Here are your hosts, LaTanya.
Hey there. Welcome to the edition. Hi there, LaTanya. Welcome to the special edition of Faith and Freedom Fridays. We're having some feedback issues.
Yes, I hear that.
And it's me. Sorry about that. Okay, is that better?
Oh, no. That is better. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So again, welcome to the special edition of Faith and Freedom Fridays. We are so excited to be here to go over the debate from last night from J.D. Vance and Tim Walz and give you a Christian perspective on the issues that they spoke about. So we're excited to get started.
Yes, very. And as we always say, we want this to be very interactive. So please, if you have any questions, please leave your in the comment section Q in front of your question or the word question in front of it, and we will see it and we will answer it. And as always too, if anyone wants to come on, just let us know and you can join us as well. And hi, Angela. Thank you.
Hi, Angela.
All right. So I don't know how many people watched the debate last night. Of course, I know we did. I don't know. Did you watch it, Angela, as well? But so very, very, it was a cordial one, but I think they underestimated. Oh, you did. Yes. Let us know what you thought in the comment section. But I think people probably underestimated J.D. Vance. And he really stood his ground. He really looked very just prepared, and he was not, even dodging any. I mean, he wasn't dodging anything. And when they tried to fact check him and etc., we'll I think we have a clip on that. I'm not quite for sure, but yeah, it was Angela. So with that being said, Kathy, you think we should get into what Tim Walz was stating about abortion?
Okay. Let me set it up here.
Okay.
Okay. And I hope you'll be able to hear it. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. There we go.
Okay.
Hi, Shireen.
Okay, let me see. Do I have, is that the right one, the right clip?
Yeah.
It is?
That's
okay. Okay.
All right, I'm going to mute and I'm going to play.
Okay, they said no sound.
No sound.
Mm.
Okay. Not good. Let me try it this way.
Okay.
You never know.
That's
Technology
true.
works.
That is so true. That's okay. Let's see. So how is everyone tonight? Thank you all for short notice joining us. We really do appreciate it. We won't hold you all long tonight.
No.
Let's see.
I'm looking for it.
So, Angela, you said that you I have to go make the Israel salad. How are all of you things? Oh yeah, the Israel, yeah, salad. Yeah, that looked really good. I saw that. So
Where did it?
Angela, what was your takeaway from last night? And Shireen, I think you said you was going to look at it like later. Did you ever get a chance to look at it later? Okay. So what were you saying, Kathy? No, did it? Okay.
But it's really weird. You can't hear it.
Yeah, we couldn't hear it.
Let me try it.
Okay. Yeah, I was watching it, but at the very end, I was so exhausted. Yesterday, I fell off to sleep at the very end. Yes.
That's why the restoration of Roe versus Wade. When you
Now we can hear it.
about this subject and you hear me talk about
Yes.
it,
Okay. We are ready, everyone. Just a second.
Yeah, 1 second here.
But yes, JD, he did. Yes. He had great answers. Yes. Yes. That is, yes, that is so good. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, everyone. Here we go.
That's why the restoration of Roe versus Wade. When you listen to Vice President Harris talk about this subject and you hear me talk about it, you hear us talking exactly the same. Donald Trump is trying to figure out how to get the political right of this. I agree with a lot of what Senator Vance said about what's happening. His running mate, though, does not, and that's the problem.
Governor, your time is up. Senator, let me ask you about that. He mentioned, it was, I think, referring to a national ban. In the past, you have supported a federal ban on abortion after 15 weeks. In fact, you said if someone can't support legislation like that.
Okay, I'm back. So I figured out the problem.
Oh. What was the problem?
Problem is that I had the clip on my other screen and not on my laptop.
Oh, okay.
That was the problem.
Oh,
So I'll have to do the clips here. So and
oh,
now, so in that clip, Wall said that he put Roe v. Wade back into his state in Minnesota. The thing is the reason that President Trump wanted to reverse and most of, I mean, Christians wanted it reversed, and we've been praying on it and fighting for it for a long time, is because, well, yeah, we don't want to be killing babies, but the main reason is the federal government shouldn't have control over the states in abortion rights, because the same ideals of somebody in California is not the same of ideals as somebody in Iowa or in Montana. So when our founding fathers, they put together the United States, they knew that the different states would have different ideologies. So, giving the states and the people back the power to vote on abortion rights. Now, the left, the Democrats right now want to say it's women's health care. They're trying to change that term of women's health care. And it's not. And, scriptures, there are scriptures that say that a human being is a human being at conception. And one of those scriptures is Psalm 139, 13 through 16. For you created in my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well my frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me will be written in your book before one of them came to be.
yes. And I'll even add this one, Kathy. I like how the NLT says it. I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you as my prophet to the nations. That's, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Another scripture that talks about that life is at conception. That is a life right at conception. And so at that point, that baby is growing. I like to say it like this. Once a baby is born, let's just say a child. Is a child an adult yet?
No.
No. But as that child is allowed to grow and develop, he's an adult in the making. So that's just
Right.
like, at conception, when the egg and the sperm, they comes together, then yes, at that exact moment, that is a life, and things are happening. Is it a baby? Is it, as they would say, quote, like, it hasn't developed to that yet, but it's in the making. Everything, just like that illustration. Wow, I did not even think about that, but that just came, that just like a baby, that little baby that you see is an adult in the making.
Right.
you know
Yeah. Well, and my argument is, They always say that are standing up for abortion rights, it's my body, my right. There's another body inside you. What about the rights of that body?
Exactly.
You, as its mother, are the one that is supposed to be protecting it.
Yes.
Until it grows into adulthood. And then even then, I think we're still protecting our children.
Yes.
But there's another human being in there. It may be just a cell, but it's a life. It's growing.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, and the argument back and forth over this, and I know that President Trump has not he's changed his views on abortion. He's softened some where he says, in there's different circumstances in the events of rape and incest, that type of thing. And it goes back to, again, that there is going to be no perfect answer in this world, but it's about aligning with the most biblical.
Right.
You want to go to the stance of Tim Walz and Kamala Harris, where late term abortions, they're okay with late term abortions. And there is a video clip that I have on that when they talk about it. Let's play that one.
Okay.
I think there's so much that we can do. I think there's so much that we can.
Okay.
Because as we are waiting for the clip, the other side, they want to call it something else, and it's not something else.
In the last debate,
Yes.
former President Trump said.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Former President Trump said in the last debate that you believe abortion, quote, in the 9th month is absolutely fine. Yes or no? Is that what you support? I'll give you 2 minutes.
That's not what the bill says, but look, this issue is what's on everyone's mind. Donald Trump put this all into motion. He brags about how great it was that he put the judges in and overturned Roe versus Wade, 52 years of personal autonomy. And then he tells us, oh, send it to the states. It's a beautiful thing. Amanda Zaworski would disagree with you on it's a beautiful thing. A young bride in Texas waiting for their child at 18 weeks. She has a complication, a tear in the membrane. She needs to go in. The medical care at that point needs to be decided by the doctor. And that would have been an abortion. But in Texas, that would have put them in legal jeopardy. She went home, got sepsis, nearly dies, and now she may have difficulty having children. Or in Kentucky, Hadley Duvall, a 12-year-old child raped and impregnated by her stepfather. Those are horrific. Now, when God asked about that, Senator Vance said 2 wrongs don't make a right. There is no right in this. So in Minnesota, what we did was restore Roe versus Wade. We made sure that we put women in charge of their health care. But look, this is not where, if you don't know Amanda or a Hadley, you soon will.
That didn't even make sense to me. So 2 wrongs don't make a right. There is no right in this situation. I'm like, well, of course, yes, the young lady or the child that got raped and then actually murdering the baby. When you and let's just when they, even the case that he was talking about, that was a sad situation with that lady. But what they're not telling you is that it was more of a malpractice situation. What happened? See, they're not talking about that part. They're leaving that part off about how it was that was actually some medical negligence or something. I
Right.
think I want to say, yeah, on that part of what happened, to that lady. In most situations, people are using this as a form of birth control.
Exactly.
They are using abortion as a form of birth control. And yes, I want to say it because at this point, I want to post a scripture that I came across, and it's, let me see, where is that scripture? It's this one. Isaiah 5:20 says, "Woe." That's a very serious word when that's mentioned. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. And that's exactly what they're doing. And that is a woe. That
Yeah.
is yes.
Yeah. The other one they bring up is the woman from Georgia that couldn't get an abortion in Georgia and went to, I think she was on her way to South Carolina, something like that. And she ended up dying. Well, what they don't tell you is she took the abortion pill. And it was
Yep.
complications from the abortion pill that the reason that she died, and she didn't go to the doctor soon enough.
That was the one I was referring to. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
not the other one. That one,
not the
yes.
Kentucky one. Yeah, the one in Georgia. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and then Tim Walz, says that that law about late term abortions isn't true. Well, guess what? I got the receipts.
Oh, all right.
So let me
Okay.
pull that article up.
Okay.
So in Minnesota, there is a bill that protected late term aborted babies that were born alive for getting medical care. In 2023,
Okay.
in 2023, he repealed the law right here. He repealed it. And what he changed in it allowed, because 5 babies were born alive died after they were born alive due to failed induced abortions in 2021, according to annual report. But because they didn't get the proper medical attention, they were just left on the table to die. In one instance, there was fetal abnormalities, but 2, comfort care. But what he did was also in that bill, a limited 24-hour waiting periods to get an abortion. That gave the mother time to think about it. Removal of parental notification requirements. So my 12-year-old can go have an abortion and I'm not going to get notified?
Wow.
Yeah, no. And then he did put a ban on telemedicine abortions, that was a good thing.
Okay. And what did that the ban on telemedicine?
Right. So they can't call in and have a video appointment and get an abortion. to where the doctor will prescribe, the abortion pill.
Oh, just get the right.
So, it is true that in Minnesota there are late-term abortions.
Right.
So let's hear what Vance has to say about abortions.
There's so much that we can do on the public policy front just to give women more options. Now, of course, Donald Trump, I think there's so much that we can do on the
Hold on. It's not liking me very much.
Okay. So, Chris, you asked what are we? Oh, is it working? Okay.
And I think there's so much that we can do
You still can't
on
hear,
the
huh?
public policy front just
No,
to
we
give
can hear.
more options. Now, of course, Donald Trump has been very clear that on the abortion policy specifically, that we have a big country and it's diverse. And California has a different viewpoint on this than Georgia. Georgia has a different viewpoint from Arizona. And the proper way to handle this, as messy as democracy sometimes is to let voters make these decisions, let the individual states make their abortion policy. And I think that's what makes the most sense in a very big, a very diverse, and let's be honest, sometimes a very, very messy and divided country.
So that was one of the things he said.
I thought about this when you were laying out the receipts about Tim Walz and about the what are they, that abortion pill, that is, I could see how that could end up really being something. I mean, what if, you know what, I won't even mention it because I don't even want to give the thought that I'm thinking to even put it out there where somebody would have any ideas. So I'll just I'll just keep that. But
Yeah.
It's
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, so what I mean, it's so how they can one way talk about family and talk about, oh, we want to do all this for the baby and for all of that, but then yet on the other hand, wow, I mean, to the extreme of even where there were babies who can't even give comfort care when you try to pretty much murder the baby, take the baby's life.
Yeah. No,
and
it's
make a mistake. They want to reverse this, and they want to try to. Well, what about let the mother make the decision? Let all of the. But what about the life inside that woman? And that's
yeah, that's one of the things is right there. There used to be, and then one of the things that was repealed in that bill was the funding for pregnancy crisis centers. So, and I know of a case, and I have to find the story, but a woman was prosecuted for counseling a teenage girl who came out of an abortion clinic on other options than abortion. And she was arrested for giving her other options. Now, this next clip, J.D. Vance talks about that.
He does.
He talks about more options than to give women more options who find themselves in an unwanted pregnancy. I believe it. It's this clip.
Oh, JD Vance. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Tim Waltz for a moment. That's what I was like, he did? I'm like, Tim Waltz? Like, he did? That's why I said it like that. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get to this one.
We trust women. We trust doctors.
Senator, do you want to respond to the governor's claim? Will you create a federal pregnancy monitoring agency?
No, Nora, certainly we won't. And I want to talk about this issue because I know a lot of Americans care about it, and I know a lot of Americans don't agree with everything that I've ever said on this topic. And, you know, I grew up in a working class family in a neighborhood where I knew a lot of young women who had unplanned pregnancies and decided to terminate those pregnancies because they feel like they didn't have any other options. And, you know, I one of them is actually very dear to me. And I know she's watching tonight, and I love you. And she told me something a couple years ago that she felt like if she hadn't had that abortion, that it would have destroyed her life because she was in an abusive relationship. And I think that what I take from that as a Republican who proudly wants to protect innocent life in this country, who proudly wants to protect the vulnerable, is that my party, we've got to do so much better of a job at earning the American people's trust back on this issue where they frankly just don't trust us. And I think that's one of the things that Donald Trump and I are endeavoring to do. I want us as a Republican Party to be pro-family in the fullest sense of the word. I want us to support fertility treatments. I want us to make it easier for moms to afford to have babies. I want it to make it easier for young families to afford a home so they can afford a place to raise that family. And I think there's so much that we can do on the public policy front just to give women more options. Now, of course, Donald Trump has been very clear that on the abortion policy specifically, that we have a big country and it's diverse. And California has a different viewpoint on this than Georgia. Georgia has a different viewpoint from Arizona. And the proper way to handle this, as messy as democracy sometimes is to let voters make these decisions, let the individual states make their abortion policy. And I think that's what makes the most sense in a very big, a very diverse, and let's be honest, sometimes a very, very messy and divided country.
Governor, would you like to respond and also answer the question about restrictions?
Yeah, well, the question got asked and Donald Trump made the accusation that wasn't true about Minnesota. Well, let me tell you about this idea that there's diverse states. There's a young woman named Amber Thurman.
We already heard that clip. But I want to go back. When he was talking about giving the people the right to vote on these issues.
Right.
Watch Tim Walz.
And divided country.
Governor, would you like to respond and also?
And it's diverse. And California has a different viewpoint on this than Georgia. Georgia has a different viewpoint from Arizona. And the proper way to handle this, as messy as democracy sometimes is to let voters make these decisions.
Did you see him shake his head? No.
Yes.
Don't let voters make these decisions.
Yes. Yes. I saw that.
It's very telling. It's very telling that they want to take your power away from you to vote. And that's what Roe v. Wade did. Roe v. Wade took your power away from you to vote on these issues.
But yet he will say, okay, but it's a woman's rights. Stop, interfering. Let the person make the decision on their. So it's like, you see still where that contradictory part is. On the one hand, you're saying this, and then here we clearly see when that was mentioned about let it go to the states, not a federal mandate. Let it go to the states. And then when it goes to the states, and this is the thing, when it goes to the states, it's still not the state, pushing it. You're going to vote.
Right.
Because when it those, yeah.
We are a republic that is governed by a democracy. Okay, if it went by the populist vote, then all the flyover states would not have a voice at all, because California and New York would be the voice. And believe me, you do not want California's policies, and you don't want New York policies throughout the whole United States, because then we're not free. It's crazy. So, yeah. So I think we should move on to the next topic.
Okay. So I don't see any questions or anything that anyone had. Yeah. Okay. So our next topic, what we were wanting to talk about, was about Tim Walz's lies.
Oh yes.
And which he didn't even have to, lie about, but about China and about his military service. And so I think we have a clip where when he was, I guess you would say, they fact checked. Would you say that was a fact check? They did that. They actually fact checked.
They didn't fact check him. They tried to fact check JD Vance.
So when they came, they asked him again, would you, yeah, you're right, because they didn't try to come back and say, well, no, this is what you said. I guess they were trying to give him a chance to save himself or something. I don't know.
Actually, that's what they did. So I have the clip here on what he said.
The Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel.
I don't know why it just keeps starting before I even get it set up. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
The Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel to Asia until August of that year. Can you explain that discrepancy?
Yeah, well, and to the folks out there who didn't get at the top of this, look, I grew up in small rural Nebraska, town of 400, town that you rode your bike with your buddies till the streetlights come on, and I'm proud of that service. I joined the National Guard at 17, worked on family farms, and then I used the GI Bill to become a teacher, passionate about it, a young teacher. My first year out, I got the opportunity in the summer of '89 to travel to China. 35 years ago, be able to do that. I came back home and then started a program to take young people there. We would take basketball teams, we would take baseball teams, we would take dancers, and we would go back and forth to China. The issue for that was to try and learn. Now, look, my community knows who I am. They saw where I was at. Look, I will be the first to tell you, I have poured my heart into my community. I've tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect. And I'm a knucklehead at times, but it's always been about that. Those same people elected me to Congress for 12 years. And in Congress, I was one of the most bipartisan people, working on things like farm bills that we got done, working on veterans benefits. And then the people of Minnesota were able to elect me to governor twice. So look, my commitment has been from the beginning to make sure that I'm there for the people, to make sure that I get this right. I will say more than anything, many times I will talk a lot. I will get caught up in the rhetoric. But being there, the impact it made, the difference it made in my life, I learned a lot about China. I hear the critiques of this. I would make the case that Donald Trump should have come on one of those trips with us. I guarantee you he wouldn't be praising Xi Jinping about COVID. And I guarantee you he wouldn't start a trade war that he ends up losing. So this is about trying to understand the world. It's about trying to do the best you can for your community. And then it's putting yourself out there and letting your folks understand what it is. My commitment, whether it be through teaching, which I was good at, or whether it was being a good soldier or was being a good member of Congress, those are the things that I think are the values that people care about.
Oh, can't hear you. You're on mute. Can't hear you. Okay.
I'm having
There
all
you
kinds of problems over here. I cut it
Oh,
off
no.
too soon.
Do we?
I cut it off too soon.
Okay.
Discrepancy.
All I said on this was I got there that summer and misspoke on this. So I will just, that's what I've said. So I was in Hong Kong and China during the democracy protests went in. And from that, I learned a lot of what needed to be in governance.
He didn't. You went around the question over and over again. You just, why lie?
Yes.
And it's not just the one time. About, he said that he was at Tiananmen Square when all that went down in 1989 during the democracy protests, when in the college students. And he said that quite often throughout his political career.
Wow.
So, and coming from a biblical perspective, we're not supposed to lie. That's a sin.
Yes. Yes. Well, we both said this. He served 20-some years in the military. That's honorable. That's an honorable thing.
I got a clip on that too.
Oh, good. And so we're just like, he didn't have to. I mean, it was like, why? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, why? Okay, let me get this set up here. Okay.
And that's,
now, this one isn't from, this clip is not from any American news channel. This is actually from Australia. So the world is watching us. Yes. And this is pretty interesting what this newscaster has to say.
Okay.
Now, we got some more breaking news here from the growing scandal of vice presidential nominee Tim Walz, and claims that he lied about his military record. New vision has just surfaced of Walz telling Gold Star families at a congressional committee hearing about his experience with PTSD when he returned from military service. Have a look.
And both of you, with your keen understanding of how this works, especially from National Guard families, I can tell you this, having been one of those that came back, we were in support of OEF, but sitting in there with OIF veterans, when we came back, they showed us the horse whisperer and told us to be nice when we went home. And that was the extent of it. That was in 2004. Now, I'm proud to say that because of the people sitting in here and people who came before me, things have changed over the last 4 years.
Gosh, you see what he does there? He's implying that he came back from Afghanistan or Iraq, but in fact, the only thing he didn't come back from is in fact, he came back from Italy. This issue keeps getting worse and worse for the Democrats. And the fact that the Democrats had to have known about these problems with Tim Walz and still picked him, well, to me, that shows just how contemptuous they are of military service and the American voter.
Wow. So he misspoke then, misspoke now. It's like a pattern. But how do you mean?
Yeah.
What was he getting? Yeah.
He retired from the National Guard before his unit was called up to Iraq. 2 months before he retired. Now, one of his commanding officers said that they knew that they were going to Iraq months before they actually did. Now, part of the news has come out and said that they were informed that they were going to Iraq in June. He retired in May. So, but he's insinuated that he has gone to war and he's carried his, and he's said this when he was talking about the Second Amendment, about and doing away with assault rifles. That's all over YouTube. You can find that one. That the only gun that assault rifle needs to be is the one that he carried into war. He never went to war. The only deployment he had was in a foreign land was into Italy. He was only deployed to Italy. The other thing he does is that he says that he's one rank higher. He's a commander. I forget what it was. Yeah,
No.
Yeah, he's a commander. I mean, he's one commanding sergeant or something like that, which is one higher rank than he actually is. Well, guess what? That's illegal, and he can be prosecuted for that.
And that is true. Personating, you cannot falsify ranks and all of that on your. No, that's true.
No,
that's true.
When my son ranked up, he had to immediately change his emblems on his uniform.
Yes.
So, no, that stuff is taken pretty seriously by the military. And what that commentator said, and by what has happened in the Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration, when she said that she was the last one in the room during the Afghanistan debacle, as a military mom, that enrages me.
Yeah.
Because I can't trust Biden to be the commander in chief, to take care of our military. He's allowing them to get missiles shot at them over there in Iraq right now. And we've even had wounded soldiers over there because of Biden's policies.
Yes.
And we are on the brink of World War III. Yesterday, a Russian fighter jet came within feet of one of our fighter jets, coming close to American airspace. Yesterday.
Really? Yesterday? Now say that again, because I didn't.
Off the coast of Alaska, a Russian fighter jet came within feet, not miles, feet, where and I can't. There's a video of it, but and the pilot had to swerve a little bit because that plane came so close to colliding with one of our American fighter jets yesterday.
How could that? Why is that even talked about?
Well, it's not talked about on mainstream media. I saw that on Newsmax last night, yesterday. And also there was a Russian submarine that was very close to the coast of Alaska. We're not very far apart from Alaska to Russia.
Right.
In fact, Alaska belonged to Russia at one point. So So you got a military man who had done 25 years of honorable service lie about his service. that could possibly be commander in chief if something happened to Harris.
For Harris.
Taking care of our military. And that commentator was right. The Democrats don't think very much of our military.
Yeah.
They left.
Wow.
They left $85 billion worth of new equipment in Afghanistan.
In Afghanistan. A debauched withdrawal. Yes.
Exactly. And they blamed it on Trump. They said it was Trump's plan. Excuse me. Who in 2021 was president?
Exactly.
You know, it's just like, you know, everything that they say they're going to do, I'm getting ahead of myself, but everything that they say they're going to do, Harris is the vice president now. Why isn't she doing it?
Yes.
She's gone down to the border twice. Yesterday, was it yesterday? No, it was the day before.
No, it was the day before, not yesterday. Yeah. Before.
Yeah. So she goes down to the border. It was Tuesday. It was yesterday. No, it was Monday. Okay. She goes down to the border for a photo op. And now she says she's going to build a wall. Why aren't you doing it now?
Now she's talking about she wants to build the wall.
Exactly.
Come on. No.
So I don't understand it. I don't understand going back to him lying. Why?
Wow.
That makes no sense to me. Well,
This is the thing too. If he will do that over something he didn't have to, that can be very telling.
right.
He didn't have to, and so that was what one commentary person that I was listening to what they had mentioned, and I was
Mhm.
like, they got a point there. And it also just like it also makes you just wonder, why did Kamala pick him, who is so radical? I guess she had to pick somebody who was
Well, her other choice was
it
Al
Shapiro?
Shapiro.
Shapiro,
Yeah,
yes.
Shapiro. But he is a Jew,
He's Jewish, yeah.
and with all the rhetoric and everything, and that when Biden first withdrew from the presidential race, and Netanyahu, it was like what a few days later, Prime Minister Netanyahu came to speak to Congress. Her job as vice president was to be there. She was out somewhere else, and she blatantly showed the disrespect to Israel by not being there.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, if there was an outcry for America to stop supporting Israel, I wouldn't be surprised if she would cave into that.
She definitely would.
Well, look what
she did not she hasn't oops, sorry. She hasn't supported Israel. She's okay with all these Palestinian protests and with the colleges. Why aren't they putting a stop to that?
Right.
Yeah. I'm getting off on a tangent.
No. I get it. So does anybody else have any comments about this, or the first two things we've talked about? Okay, I don't see anything.
Okay. So our next
Okay.
topic is what? Immigration?
It's immigration. And really immigration and economy, the economy kind of goes hand in hand.
Right.
And I say that because with all the illegal immigrants that just open border, it's just free for all, open borders that are coming in. And the issue is, well, for one, it's illegal. Come the right way, right
Mhm.
there. It's just, what are we missing here? You're illegally coming over. And I just want to say this, when I see some of the pictures of them just walking over, throwing up the peace sign, I want to say, I think there was a video where someone was even using a machine or something to saw through some metal.
Yeah. They're
And I
sawing
was
through
like,
the wall.
are you kidding me? And I know some people, they say, well, they're digging, tunnels up under, they're doing this, doing that. Well, this is the thing. There's one thing when you are trying to do, you're trying to hide what you're doing. It's another level when it's like, I'm not even hiding it. Your government is letting us, and when you see those pictures throwing up the peace sign, they're just coming. I mean, and then taking it even to an unimaginable level where it's like these individuals are getting resources from people who pay their taxes, who are citizens, and yet we can't even give, the people who are at least are born here are not able to get the help, but yet you're giving it to individuals who are coming over illegal, that's breaking the law. And then even, I don't know if it's like some type of entitlement or some type of, I don't know, but to me this is just unbelievable. Why? How is it that an illegal immigrant is able to have an apartment, nice apartment, having access to food stamps, and I'm talking about high amounts of food stamps? How is that possible?
Well,
How is that possible?
Here's something. I don't know if any of you saw her press conference. I guess it's a press conference. Harris she was in Georgia with FEMA um, because of the hurricane Helene. And she said that they will get the resources they need, and everybody's going to get $750
For what?
for help, for
Everybody,
emergency help right now. But yet you're
everybody.
giving thousands of dollars to the immigrants, and putting them up in hotels and giving them food cards and as you said, food stamps upon
Yeah.
food stamps upon food stamps, and they're only going to give $750 to these people that have been displaced because of a natural disaster, and they're American citizens.
And American citizens.
And then in another clip, and this is something she said that when she was previously running for president in 2020, is that it was going to be on an equity scale, these natural disasters, and who gets more money. So the lower income people were going to get more money than wealthier people.
Wow.
And
do we have anything showing that of Kamala saying exactly that, how she's going to $750 for
yeah,
people? We do? Okay. Because a lot of times a video and actually hearing it out of the person's mouth,
let me.
$750
Yeah,
of
$750.
American citizens. and yet the illegal immigrants are getting thousands.
10,000.
Who's getting 10,000?
Illegal immigrants.
My husband says the immigrants are getting $10,000.
10,000. It's 10,000. Wow.
And she's saying the same thing that Biden said to the people in Hawaii.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find that. Was that on Higby?
I'm not sure. Couldn't tell you.
I'm looking for it.
That's the reason why she said that.
Okay.
You have a question? Someone
Yeah.
asked a question.
Well, if Trump was president, like Ronald Reagan did with the
Hear
air
you.
traffic controllers.
We couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can.
Okay. So if Biden would act like Reagan did during the air traffic controller strike, he would tell them to get back to work, otherwise they're going to lose their jobs. They want a 77% increase in pay.
Oh, wow. 77?
77.
They're already making 150,000 plus.
And my husband, you know, you're live. He said that they're already making $150,000 plus a year.
Wow.
So I can't answer that because I don't know.
Wow.
So I think here it is.
Oh.
Thought it was it. I
That
got it
is
here.
That is just mind-boggling right there.
Yep. Okay.
Wow.
I think this is it.
Okay.
So I'm going to share.
Okay. There you go.
Newsbusters. It's Scott Pelley's interview with Joe Biden. Tongue baths. So, I mean, it was not going to be a fair interview. Obviously, the Leslie Stahl interview was a farce at the time. So, yeah, 60 Minutes, not the best outlet for it.
I'm trying to find it. I know it was on here, and I heard her say it. Well, let me find it. I'm looking for it. Give. You're muted, LaTanya.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. Yes, $750, Shireen. That is exactly, shaking my, yes.
I found it.
Oh, you found it? Okay.
I believe that it'll come up.
Okay.
Yep. Here it is.
Okay.
We have to watch a commercial first.
Oh, okay. Okay.
coverage of Helene continues this afternoon. Vice President Kamala Harris right now is in Georgia surveying the damage left behind by Hurricane Helene.
That's right. Zach Merchant with the 11 Alive political team is in one of the state's hardest hit regions. Zach, we know the folks down there in Augusta really trying to come out of everything that we saw last week. What are you seeing down there
I can find
on the ground?
her speech here, because this whole clip is 8 minutes. Okay. All right.
Live to Vice President Kamala Harris's remarks.
First and foremost, thank the federal, state, and local leaders. Mayor, I want to thank you for your leadership in particular on the ground. I am here to personally take a look at the devastation, which is extraordinary, and it is particularly devastating the loss of life that this community has experienced, the loss of normalcy, and the loss of critical resources. And so I'm here today to thank all of those who are working.
Okay, I'm going to find a better clip because I can barely hear her. You're muted.
Okay. And then I think Angela said, "Oh, can't hear her." Okay, yeah, we got to get a better clip.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find a YouTube clip.
That's true. And so as Kathy's looking for a clip, a better one, that is the thing that a lot of people are just outraged about, that you're not helping your own, those who are here in America that are natural born citizens, whether they just kind of always been here, or well, we know that nobody's just always just kind of been here to make it up there, but those who are naturalized here and have done it legally and the right way, and then those who are, what country how do I want to phrase this? It's almost like the illegals, aliens, that they are getting benefits over the naturalized ones. And that is a serious thing.
Yeah.
That's a very serious thing. Can you go to other countries, and I don't know if there's other countries where the people who are not naturalized or born over there gets more benefits than the ones who were born there.
I hope I set it up to, I found another clip. I hope I set it up to the part where she said it, because it was towards the end.
Towards the end?
Yeah. Oh. This clip that I found is 8 minutes or 6 minutes. Okay.
Okay, that's it. Okay, let's see.
To the residents of this community and the region is that we are here for the long haul, there is the work that we have done together that was the immediate response, well, preparation for, and then the immediate response after. But there's a lot of work that's going to need to happen over the coming days, weeks, and months. And the coordination that we have dedicated ourselves to will be long lasting to get families, to get residents, to get neighborhoods back up and running. And my last point is this. I think that in these moments of hardship, one of the beauties about who we are as a country is people really rally together and show the best of who they are in moments of crisis. And we've seen that throughout the region where communities are coming together, where people are helping perfect strangers, where they are providing food, water, shelter for their neighbors. And that neighbor may be somebody they've never met before, but are doing the work of helping each other out. And I think it really highlights the fact that the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us, and that the best of the strength of who we are is we come to each other's aid in a time of need. So I thank everyone for doing that kind of work every day. And with that, there is more work to be done. Thank you all. Thank you.
Nope, that wasn't it. I got to go back and find it. So give me a minute. You're muted again.
Okay, sorry. Yes, no other countries do what we do. Yes. Yeah, that's true. Angela.
I think I got it. I'm a terrible producer.
No, you're good. You're good.
This is on the fly.
No, you are good. Okay.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met, such as food, baby formula, and the like. And you can.
There it was. $750.
I heard it. Wow.
She said it. That was the same thing that they gave the people in Hawaii and what it
yeah, when they had the fire.
Yeah, and Lanaya, I can't pronounce it. But yeah, it's the same thing. So so yeah, it goes back to the immigration. Why and we've had this discussion before, is why are the immigrants, the illegal immigrants, which is in violation of federal law, which Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are breaking the law, federal law, and allowing these people to come in the way they're coming in.
Right.
People can come into our country, but they have to come in the right way, just like my great grandparents did.
Oh.
You know, I'm second generation American. I was born here, but my great grandparents came from Yugoslavia, and on my dad's side, and when there was a Yugoslavia, there is no more, and from England and Poland on my mom's side. But they came in, but they came in legally. They became naturalized citizens.
Right. Wow.
Rosie says, and they give $8 billion to other countries. She's shaking her head. Well, yeah, and not only that, but I think it's up to $90 billion we have given Iran.
90 billion, not million, billion.
$90 billion we've given to Iran.
Wow.
And part of that was to, which was being held, that Trump had put sanctions on, Biden released to trade for hostages. Now, I thought America did not pay ransom for hostages.
Wow.
We don't negotiate with terrorists.
Right.
So, what? She's part of that. Harris is part of that. So,
well, it's not going to come. Well, they're not going to talk about that. Yeah.
And then speaking on the immigration, here's a video clip. This is where they tried to fact check JD Vance last night.
Yes.
And they said they wouldn't be doing any fact checking.
Oh,
well,
there.
CBS last night said that they wouldn't be doing any fact checking.
But yet they did.
They did. So here's his comeback.
Okay.
Thank you, Governor. And just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected status.
Well,
Margaret,
but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important
we're
because
going to turn out of the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
the rules were that
The
you guys
economy,
weren't going to fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP One app where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand. That is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by our own
Thank you, Senator, for
leadership.
describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
Those laws have been on the books since 1990.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The
we
CBP
want to have
app has not been on the books since 1990. It's something that Kamala Harris created, Margaret.
Gentlemen, the audience can't hear you because your mics are cut. We have so much we want to get to. Thank you for explaining the legal process.
There's an app for that. For people applying to come into the United States, there's an app for that. Let that one sink in.
There is an app. Wow. Wow. What shall we say to these things? Wow. So, as you can see, the receipts have been dropped. And I'm sure we could add more to it. But this is what we're up against, and this is what is happening. And so if you're choosing to vote, we're just trying to present to you, okay, on each candidate, this is what they believe. And this is what they have done. And this is what they have said. And this is what they have not, what they haven't said. But we're trying to lay it out there as we're now to 35 days. Did they say 35 to the election?
Yep. So it's coming close. So I know a lot of you Friday said that you were undecided. I just encourage you to seek God and gain discernment on the issues and who you should vote for. We're not telling you who to vote for, but we are showing you who is more biblical and who is not. So, we didn't get into some things which we could probably leave for another show, but I
Yeah.
just want to leave you with this. The Democrat Party and the Harris-Walz campaign are for killing babies.
Yes.
No matter how far along the terms are. They're both for late-term abortions. We've showed you that Tim Walz and his policies have allowed babies born to be born alive, left to die without medical treatment.
Wow.
And all this stuff should be heartbreaking to you. On that alone, really check your spirit, pray whether or not you should vote for them or you should vote for Trump Vance.
Right.
It's a hard issue. This, like the video that we played at the end of Friday night's show with that gentleman, which I did reach out to him.
You did?
And it wasn't him in the video. He found it on Twitter and he reposted it. He doesn't know who he is.
Oh, he doesn't? Oh, no.
It's a bummer. But he said, this is an election of good versus evil. It isn't an election of Republican versus Democrat.
That's
right. Is good versus evil. And what does God say about these issues? Because they're really big issues. And think about this. They're funding abortions with your tax dollars, whether you agree with it or not. Kamala Harris has also come out and said that she will fund for prisoners to get transgender surgeries while they're in prison with our tax dollars.
And see, that's another.
Our tax dollars are paying more for illegal immigrants to live in this country than for people who have just lost their homes and a natural disaster that are American citizens that only get $750, where the illegal immigrants get $10,000. So tell me, and I know some of you are undecided, and I'm not going to discourage you about that, but you do need to vote. And you shouldn't say, well, I don't know what to vote for or any of that. There are websites you can go to. One of them is My Faith Votes, that has biblical guides. Not only can you get involved in the cause there of getting people to get out and vote, but they also have biblical guides that will help you make those decisions. And then Swamp the Vote was another. You want to talk about that one?
Yes, and I'll talk about that. Yes. And Swamp the Vote is another one. And what that is, you can check on registration to make sure, so you can make for sure that that is good to go. The other one is the polling location. Excuse me. So you will know exactly where to go on on election day. And then the other one is on how to vote. So that's another one. And then the last one was on volunteering. That they said that the amount of volunteers that they have so far is unprecedented than they've had in, I guess, any election. But these are, what's so important about that is to also the integrity of the voting, so that that can be preserved. And so yes, so those are some ways right now, or like swampthevote.com. That's it. Swamp the vote. Yes. Swamp the vote. USA. Did you add that part?
No, that's on there at the website.
Okay, so you've already been to it. I haven't been to it
Yeah.
yet. I heard about
Yeah.
it and then okay, so it's okay, SWAMPTHEVOTE voteusa.com. Okay.
Yeah. And the other thing too is vote early. Don't wait until election day, because they said that there is going to be some cyber tomfoolery going on, that you may not be able to vote. And that's exactly what happened in Arizona in 2020 when
no.
they had problems with the voting machines.
Oh, right.
So there were polling places that were shut down, and they were lines of people that would have to drive to other polling places and wasn't able to get to vote. So
Right.
vote early.
Right.
Make sure and check that your vote is in, because you can track your ballot. I know you can do that here in California.
Oh, I haven't.
And I'm sure there's the ability to do that in every state. So yeah. So that's that. And will we be on Friday? We'll be on Friday.
Yes.
So thank you for so much for joining us tonight for this special edition and on the vice presidential debate, Christian perspective. And we love you all and we appreciate you all. So please subscribe, like, and share. And let us know in the comments what you want to talk about. What do you want us to go over? Before we leave, are there any more questions?
Yes, I'm checking back up. I don't think we do, but let me see. Let's see. Don't see any. Oh, well, someone made this. Angela mentioned a story about a twin that survived abortion. Her twin oh, wow. So the twin got aborted, but she survived. Is that what is that the understanding?
Wow.
A twin survived. Her twin got aborted, and it was 2 weeks later and too late to abort her, but now she had a leak in her sac and she had to be born.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, boy. Wow. Just imagine. She had a twin. She had a twin. And anybody who's a twin, that bond,
Yeah, there is a bond.
There's a bond. Yes, there's a bond that twins have. And to know that, but you know what's even more? Think about this. Just think about this. She was a twin, and the bond that those who are twins that they have, she survived, but the other one didn't. And knowing that, her mother was approving of that. And just think what that probably does to a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was that right there, to know that that the person that I was growing inside of, and then that, the psychological of those who do make it through. It's just, wow.
It's horrific. It's horrific.
It is. And we didn't want to stay on that very long, but what we're trying to, as it's really coming down to I mean, wow, we're down to days now. Pretty soon weeks, and then then the day. So once again, we're encouraging, if you can. I know a lot of people like to wait maybe on election day because woohoo, it's election day, but you never know what ends up happening. And like Kathy was stating, and I agree with this. This is just like the video we watched last week. This is between good and evil. We're not talking about the candidates and whether they are worthy or anything of that. We're talking about the policies and what they will be pushing. And so if you can do early, please do so. I know I plan to. Once that is opened up, I plan to do early. And then you have gotten it over with, whatnot. You never know. You might go and think everything's okay, and then you find out something is not. So you got time. So that's the other thing, what is good about early voting, because if there is an issue, you still got time.
Yep. Especially, to make sure that, there's no identity theft or anything like that. But we can talk about that on Friday. Get more in depth on what you need to do in that. So
yeah, we can. And so Kathy, I don't see anything.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, we want to say once again, thank you all so much. We love you all, and thank you for your support of Faith and Freedom Fridays, but special edition on this Wednesday after evening.
Yep. God bless you all.
God bless. Have a good night. Okay.
We're still live.